I am a huge fan of Recess. It's a show about six brave fourth graders at Street School who make their mission to protect the other kids on the playground. Despite the rule of King Bob and his minions, who enforces unwritten laws, TJ, Ashley, Vincent, now William, Gus, Gretchen, and Mikey to seek rational balance between conformity and individuality. There's a lost episode of the series that I managed to encounter myself. Here's the story. My guys, my name is Frankie Foster. I am a 22-year-old woman who is a maid at Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. I am friends with Gary Johnston, who had an experience with messing up kids' copies of kids' favorite songs too. As well as I had an experience with that too, but it's not the exact same thing. It was the actual episode of Recess that got so crazy. I was home alone when Mac, Blue, Coco, Eduardo, and the others went out to the mall to do some shopping. The first thing I did was I took a shower and made my hair completely wet, much to the point of the movie Anchorphobia from 1990. One day I was going to the grocery store and I found a brown paper bag that contained a thumb drive. So instead of reporting it to the police, I took it home with me. My grandmother, who lives at the Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, was spending the day since it was summer break, and she usually sits on her ass down watching old 1990s movies and TV shows, therefore giving me a chance to view the contents of the bag more closely. I decided to put the thumb drive into my computer when I got home, which had two video files, one named RWMV and R2WMV. Both of them were 10 minutes long each. I quickly realized that the R could have been standard for Recess. I was right, and the Recess intro played as normal, but after the intro, the title card came up, and the episode was called Spook Scoops, and I was completely shocked to see an episode such as like this. The episode began as usual, showing the school on 3rd Street in the background, and the sky was dark gray as if a storm had hit. The camera had panned down, showing what appeared to be Ashley Armbruster's house. The camera then zoomed in towards the window of Ashley A's bedroom. She was asleep in her bed, and her alarm clock had the hands pointing up, indicating that it was 6 a.m. Ashley Armbruster woke up, took a shower, and got dressed and went downstairs for some breakfast. It then cut to Ashley Armbruster and her brother Tyler in the dining room. Ashley Armbruster was reading a Nancy Drew book while eating some Reese's Puffs, while Tyler had pretended or pestered about the story. The volume was bad, making it bad for me to listen to, but I'll do my best to recreate what they're saying, although it's hard to remember. Tyler, why won't you play with me, Ashley? I'm bored. Why are we even here? Ashley Armbruster, shut up, Tyler. I'm trying to read. The parents then came down the hall. The mom looked depressed and the dad seemed paranoid. Tyler ran to them, asking them why the dad had told him to sit down. The next scene immediately cut to Vince Lassie smiling as the camera zoomed in deep in his face. He's eating a chocolate cake, strange, in a librarian's long sight of several books that are not usually portrayed in the show. He's whispering, "We're a part of the library where we keep it a secret of secret books. Oh, and by the way, some people who like Tim from the Magic School Bus, I'm really Vince Lassie. Now, I am sure why he has been reading, but get the hell to sleep. All of my friends are dead, and plenty more." He picked up the copy of the commission's report and started laughing rather loudly. "Let's read some nonfiction for a change." He then wrinkled at the camera, and then he threw it to the garbage. The book, not the camera. Then it cuts to TJ's house, where TJ was making himself lunch. His sister, Becky, was paying some bills of the house as she was working. A knock was at the door as it was heard. She went to go check and see who was there, and it was Ashley Spinelli. She welcomed Ashley, who hugged him, and Spinelli asked TJ, "Well, ready to do it?" TJ responded with yes, and they made their way upstairs. I didn't know what they were going to do, until they made their way to the upstairs bedroom, and it showed Ashley taking off her hat and coat, and as a result, they were going to do something pretty messed up. They basically decided that they would do a project together. TJ's mom and dad were away, so it's unclear where Becky was at this time, most likely downstairs or in her room, or my assumptions. I was planned on shutting the thumb drive off when I knew for the love of God that something was going to ruin the image of these kids. Now, the scene then immediately cuts to TJ and Spinelli basically working on the school project. I took the file out of the thumb drive as I had enough, as it was too scary for me. Whatever they was making something really horrible for a school project. All of a sudden, the thumb drive turned into what Fink was Tim Allen, and it started to talk in a robot voice. Please return me to my owner. A physical tear then poured down from Jay's eye on the front of the case DVD. I tasted it was salty. Just then the thumb drive began to sing, America, 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 coming again to save the day, yeah. America, yeah, freedom's the only way, yeah. Your game is through, cause you have the answer to America. So, oh yeah. America, yeah, what you gonna do now for ya? Is this the dream that was all shared and hope for tomorrow? Shut up, I yelled. I smashed the crap out of the thumb drive and put it in the garbage. I never watched Recess again after that same morning. I just got out of the shower and then saw a mirror that said, you found my hard drive and smashed it. I'm not mad, but I know who made that episode. Signed, Richard Fatchett. Richard Fatchett? I mimicked myself. I got dressed and grabbed my keys and got in my car and drove off to the White House. But before I got in, a man named General Asquith asked me why I'm here to see. I told him because I came here to see Richard Fatchett, and he let me in. Richard Fatchett was watching a movie called Ken Park from 2002, and he turned off the TV when he saw me. I told him everything what I found, and he said that he stole it from Disney Television Animation for a screening before the episode, but he couldn't show it on TV because it was too messed up for kids to watch. So there you have it, our Recess Lost episode, discovered by me. And that, my little pretties, was the lost episode of Recess. A Recess funny pasta written by Ashley Armbruster, aka Garfield Fan 1997. My final thoughts on the story? Well, this is actually a pretty interesting funny pasta. Maybe not the best one, but I still have to agree. This one was quite funny. Like, I do like how this episode of Recess went off. You know, it just had Spinelli and Ashley and, who was it? Oh, yeah, and TJ, doing some pretty messed up stuff, which I have to censor it for obvious reasons. But if you guys want to know, it's on the Ghost Gia's Lost Episode Wiki if you guys want to check out the story. Now, I definitely would have to say that this story, honestly, was pretty surprising. Despite the fact that I would have to say that this story actually had a pretty good concept for, the episode. But I have to say that, there was some... oh my goodness, I'm a bit tired. Now, as I was saying, there was just some things I would like to point out in case if you guys weren't really sure. There was the Tyler and Ashley Armbruster scene. It kind of was like almost a copy and paste of the Arthur, the death of Grandma. And just so the Ashley Armbruster knows, just don't copy and paste, certain stuff from, other stories because, I'm not saying it's plagiarism. Well, it kind of is, but at the same time, if you plagiarize another story, then yeah, that doesn't work well with your story, and your story won't be good if you, plagiarize. I have to say, I'm believing this might have been an older story. Probably an older story. Not really sure. But to be completely honest, this story was actually quite funny, in my opinion. Well, I do have to say, I'm kind of willing to give some of the stuff a pass, but just so the author knows not to sit there and, copy and paste certain things. Like, I know it's a funny pasta, so I'm willing to kind of give this a pass, but still. I really would have to say this episode was quite interesting. It kind of reminded me a bit of, the Shrek director's, not Shrek director's cut, the Shrek Lost movie pasta and the Oh Patrick SpongeBob one. So yeah, there were some similarities in there, but this funny pasta, I have to say it was pretty funny. Like, I remember kind of laughing at this. Now, I don't think I did narrate this, so yeah, I kind of actually saw that it was said for the Shadow Lioness, so I decided to go ahead and narrate this. So, because, yeah, I remember watching Recess when I was, younger. I really do find the show to be rather enjoyable. And to be honest, I haven't watched Recess in like a really long time. Like, I'm not gonna lie. It's a pretty good concept for what this story is. I really do find this to be quite funny. So I definitely would have to say that this story actually provided pretty good detail. So I would have to say this story was actually a very funny one for what this story is, and I definitely would have to say I really do find this pasta to be enjoyable, really funny and well made. I really have to say that I really do like how the story went out. It's a pretty interesting story, really, to be honest. I mean, it's a funny pasta, so I know it does not take to make a whole lot of sense. So there's definitely that. But I guess with that being the case, that being said, yeah. The grammar was pretty good in the story along with the sentence structuring, the paragraph structuring, so there's another thing I would have to say that was good about this. But I really would have to say that this story actually was not a bad funny pasta. It's not a bad one. I would recommend the author not to, plagiarize other stories. I know it's not plagiarism really much. Like, it's just only maybe a few things that were not copy and paste or anything. Now, I'm not accusing anybody for plagiarism. No, I'm not sitting there and doing that. But I'm just suggesting, the author not, the author for, I'm just only doing this review just to help the author out, guys. So, most of you guys who've been on my channel should already know that. So, I guess with that being the case, that being said, this story was actually quite fun and entertaining. I'm not gonna lie, it was entertaining and fun. I really found this to be enjoyable. It's an enjoyable, funny pasta of its own way. Really do find this one to be pretty good. Now, like I'm going to say, and like I always continue to say, this is just simply my own personal opinion, and if you happen to disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these funny pastas and creepy pastas, whatever you prefer to call it, and this is just simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of this story would have to be I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of 10. It's a good funny pasta. It was definitely well made, and there's definitely a lot of time and effort into it, but there was just some parts of the story that did kind of sound like the other pastas that have done certain things. Like, I'm not accusing anybody or anything. I'm just saying there were some parts in the story that had, the exact same parts, exact same, thing or something, whatever has been put into the story that is the exact same as the other ones. Now, I'm not trying to sit here and be a downer or anything. I'm just, saying. I guess with that being the case, and with that being said, what did you guys think about this funny pasta? Did you all enjoy it? Did you all not? Also, what we have done personally to help make this story a lot better? Feel free to leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comments section down below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode, and if you happen to be brand new here on this channel, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload so then you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm out.